Whew, Duncan Jones. It's been a long, strange trip.
It has.
Now, I think a lot of people are talking about Warcraft in comparison to other movies, comparing it to Lord of the Rings, comparing it to all the other video game movies there have ever been. How many people have been comparing it to Krull?
Not too much of a compared it to Krull. But hey, you remember Krull.
I love Krull. Krull is awesome. Because here's the thing. When you think about fantasy in film, you think about Lord of the Rings, think about Harry Potter, and then there's all the weird movies.
Yes.
The Krulls, the Dragon Slayers, the Willows.
That's true.
Do those films impact Warcraft at all? Are you looking at what those films did right and wrong in order to get this film?
Nope, not at all. The only ones the films that were impacting me on the making this film, and I can be very definitive about this because I was thinking about them constantly as I was writing and as I was shooting. Lord of the Rings, got to reach that bar, that amazing high bar that they set on those films, but do something different, do something that feels like it's not trying to copy that trilogy. And Sergio Leone's movies, spaghetti westerns, things like Once Upon a Time in the West and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So those were kind of my two touchstones as I was making Warcraft.
What aspect of Sergio Leone's films?
If you don't realize, then you have to watch it again.
Well, I've seen it. The people at home haven't.
Absolutely.
So what should they be looking out for?
There is a sort of a sense of hyper-realized drama and great heroes facing off with each other that is sort of straight out of a spaghetti western. For goodness sake, even in the trailers, you see a guy jump off a rooftop onto a horse. I mean, he jumps off a balcony onto a griffin. So, you know, I've been doing that the whole way through the film.
Nicely done. The color, I think, is the other thing that really strikes out at me about this. It's very bright.
Yes.
It's very colorful. It's very inviting. What was your inspiration for the color scheme?
Well, you know, I think there's a language that Blizzard have come up with over the 20 years that they've been making their games that kind of creates their aesthetic. And it's the design of their armor, this kind of asymmetrical, super-sized armor that they've got, the weapons that they design, the way the orcs look. We had to find a way to take all of those things, including the color, the vibrancy of the color that they have, and bring it into this live-action environment that the film takes place in. So it was a juggling act, and it was something we experimented with early on until we felt like, yeah, we have the right combination of things here that keeps the DNA of what you know as Warcraft and at the same time makes it work in a live-action environment.
And yet I feel like whenever other video games get turned into movies, the idea is we have to fix it. We have to like make it darker. We have to make the lighting much more...
Make it gritty.
Cinematic. Yeah!
Desaturate, gritty.
But here it feels like the dramatic storyline is doing all that for you.
I think Blizzard have been successful for 20 years because they've been telling interesting stories in interesting ways. I think one of the things that they've always been kind of clever at is they take things that you know, whether it's Tolkien, whether it's Marvel comic books, and then they put their own twist on it. With Tolkien. Back in the Tolkien days, you would have anything that's cute, whether it's humans or elves or little hobbits, those are the good guys, and then everything ugly, those are the bad guys. And I think we've moved on from that now. Those things worked back then. It would be nice to see a new approach. So with our film, there are orcs and there are humans. These are two cultures which come into conflict, and yet we see the story from both sides of view, and we understand from both sides why the conflict is arising, and we can empathize with both sides.
And yet the Fell magic really does seem to be kind of the bad guy.
Fell is bad.
Fell is just bad? We're taking a stand?
Fuel for Fell.
Okay. Some people might take issue with that. Some people are Fell fans. It's fine.
Wow. I gotta take sides somewhere.
This war will destroy us all. But together, we might stand a chance.
Whatever you plan to do, do it